to the protests against billionaire Tesla founder Elon Musk over his role in those massive federal job cuts.
Elon Musk once admitted that Tesla would either become the undisputed king of E5s or completely collapse if it couldn't solve the autonomous driving puzzle. And now that statement is no longer just a futuristic vision, it sounds more like a confession. According to the Q1 2026 report, Tesla manufactured 408,386 vehicles, but only managed to deliver 358,023. That means over 50,000 EVs were left sitting unsold after a single quarter. This marks the largest inventory backlog in Tesla's entire history. And the problem isn't just a delivery delay, it is a glaring sign that demand is simply vanishing. Americans used to line up around the block to buy the Model 3 and Model Y, but now they just walk right past overflowing dealership lots full of cars baking in the sun. Why has Tesla deteriorated to this point? And what exactly stripped Elon Musk of his title as the ultimate symbol of American tech innovation? Watch this video to the very end before you put down a deposit on your next Tesla. The past and the contrast of the present. Tesla used to be like a shooting star tearing across the American automotive sky. Not because electric vehicles were a new invention, but because this company turned something once considered slow, weak, and boring into a symbol of speed, money, and technological power. In 2008, the Roadster appeared like a direct slap in the face to Detroit. According to Tesla Investor Relations, this model could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.9 seconds. It became a true sports car fast enough to make traditional gas-powered machines fall silent. By 2012, the Model S pushed that story to an even higher level. According to Tesla's 2012 Form 10K, the company only delivered about 2,650 Model S units in its first year. But by 2023, the delivery number had skyrocketed to 1.81 million cars, according to Tesla Investor Relations. From 2,650 to 1.81 million. Over 680 times. That is a growth rate fast enough to make the Detroit Giants swallow hard. Its market cap also bloated fiercely, going from about $3.86 billion at the end of 2012 to over $1 trillion in 2021, according to company's market cap. But that halo is slowly shattering. Since officially launching the Cybertruck to the market 2 years ago, Tesla has managed to sell a mere 46,000 units, not even reaching 10% of their initial production capacity, with over 10,000 units currently gathering dust after being plagued by almost every defect in the world. According to Cox Automotive, US EV sales in Q1 2026 dropped 27% compared to the same period last year, while EV market share fell to just 5.8% of new cars. This is not a normal slowdown. It is a rock thrown into the entire supposedly calm lake of EVs. Because before that, Tesla's US sales in 2025 had already dropped to 589,000 vehicles, 7% lower than in 2024, meaning a loss of about 44,000 cars. Donald Trump's U-turn, and the first reason forcing Tesla to face its true reality is the massive gamble on Donald Trump. According to Reuters, Elon Musk spent about $259 million to support Trump's campaign and related groups in the 2024 election. In other words, Musk didn't just vote. He threw an entire truckload of cash into this political game. And for someone like Musk, that was never an emotional move. It was a power investment. He needed an administration that was more business-friendly, less heavy on regulations, put less pressure on his companies, and most importantly, didn't choke out his ambitions for robotaxis, AI, SpaceX, Tesla, or X. On July 4th, 2025, Trump signed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. And in this act, the $7,500 lifeline for EV buyers was completely slashed. According to the IRS, the new clean vehicle credit only applied to vehicles purchased on or before September 30th, 2025. For Tesla, this was not a small change. It was a total rug pull right from under the wheels of the Model 3 and Model Y. A car that was already expensive with high insurance and wallet-hurting repair costs had now lost the biggest discount that used to make buyers pull the trigger. But the second blow was the decisive strike. This act didn't just kill EV tax credits, it also crippled the penalty system for gas-powered cars. According to Sidley's analysis, Section 40,006 of the Act reduced CAFE civil penalties to $0 for automakers failing to meet fuel economy standards. Let's put it simply. Previously, if Ford, Stellantis, or other gas car makers sold too many fuel-guzzling vehicles, they had to buy compliance credits from cleaner manufacturers. And Tesla was one of the biggest credit sellers out there. By just having emission credits, Tesla could sell them to gas car brands and record revenue that drops straight to their bottom line. This is the hidden potential that many retail investors failed to look closely at. They thought Tesla got rich just by selling cars. But underneath that flashy tech shell, a policy cash flow had been quietly running for years. Tesla itself admitted in its 2025 SEC report that revenue from automotive regulatory credits plummeted by $770 million, or 28% compared to 2024. The company explicitly stated that government and regulatory actions, including the OBBBN, restricted certain credit programs tied to their products. According to Reuters, William Blair analysts estimated that about 3/4 of Tesla's credit revenue came from CAFE. Following the new law, they slashed Tesla's 2025 credit revenue estimate by nearly 40%, down to around $1.5 billion, then projected it to drop to $595 million the following year and be completely wiped out by 2027. From billions of dollars in practically free money down to absolute zero. That is not just a scratch on the balance sheet. That is a profit pipeline completely shut down. Musk placed a massive bet on political power, only for that exact administration to turn around and expose Tesla's ultimate vulnerabilities. The American tech shell and the Chinese component core. Another reason why Tesla is losing its halo isn't found in Washington. It is located in China. On Reddit, recent debates have started revolving around one question: who is the real king of EVs, Tesla or BYD? A post on Reddit's r/cars asks whether BYD has already overtaken Tesla in the UK. Another thread on r/technology discusses Tesla falling out of the top spot in China. Reddit is not a financial report, but it acts as a thermometer for car enthusiast public opinion. When the community starts comparing you to someone else, it means your monopoly is officially over. And Tesla's biggest problem lies right inside the Chinese ecosystem itself. Over 70% of the world's EV batteries are manufactured in China. China also dominates the refining of 19 out of 20 critical minerals. This means the battery is not just a regular component. It represents industrial power, and that power is not fully in Tesla's hands. Musk's company can write beautiful software and build brilliant stories about the future. But if they have to rely on a China-dominated supply chain, the promise of independence starts ringing hollow. This is exactly what makes BYD such a dangerous threat. The Chinese rival doesn't just buy components and assemble them into cars. They bring the batteries, motors, power electronics, and multiple core parts directly into their own hands. The BYD seal features about 75% in-house components, but the Tesla Model 3 only reaches around 46%. This gap is not just a decorative number in a report. It explains why BYD can slash prices fast, roll out cars fast, and strike directly at profit margins. By controlling the vehicle's core systems, they aren't squeezed at every link by external suppliers. Meanwhile, Tesla still has to sell an expensive story to justify its premium price tag. The clearest blow is the BYD Seagull. This model was once dropped to around $9,700 in China. That is not a golf cart or a toy driven around a holiday resort. It is a mass-market EV born from a production line that has been ruthlessly optimized. When it goes to Europe under the name Dolphin Surf, the price is no longer as low as it is in China. But it still sits comfortably at a starting price of €22,990. That number alone is enough to pile heavy pressure onto Western automakers. What is even more dangerous is that Chinese cars can no longer be easily dismissed as cheap and unsafe. Euro NCAP shows that the Dolphin Surf delivers serious protection capabilities and safety tests. Therefore, Tesla is now trapped in a brutal dilemma. They are too expensive to fight a price war with BYD, yet not independent enough to break free from the Chinese supply chain.
We have a warning for drivers who are about to head out the door on this Friday morning.
Tesla's recalled more than 76,000 cars due to safety.
Why Americans are abandoning Tesla. On April 19, 2024, a wave of outrage erupted when nearly 4,000 Cybertrucks were recalled due to a stuck accelerator pedal error. A vehicle marketed as a futuristic steel fortress tripped up over its own accelerator pedal. This is the most fundamental link between the driver's foot and the vehicle's raw power. It relates directly to the driver's life. For a high-priced model, a basic safety flaw like this is completely unacceptable. But it didn't stop there. Tesla rolled out a flurry of different recalls throughout 2024 for various basic defects. On November 5, 2024, Tesla confirmed a recall for the drive inverter on certain 2024 Cybertrucks, according to Tesla support. Moving to March 18, 2025, Tesla issued yet another recall for the Cantrail trim on 2024 and 2025 Cybertrucks. On top of that, Business Insider noted that several Cybertruck owners reported seeing rust spots after it rained. Whether the cause was surface contamination or real corrosion, the PR damage was already done. Nobody buys a stainless steel truck just to debate rust spots after a rain shower. Because of this, forums like r/Cybertruck and r/Cars were no longer just places to flex delivery photos. They looked more and more like waiting rooms for furious buyers. People were asking about defects warranties, lemon laws, and how to dump a vehicle they had just received. The moment the term defective car enters a luxury owner's head, the brand enters the danger zone. Because at that point, the product is no longer a proud tech icon. It becomes a liability parked in the garage. But the fatal blow didn't just come from quality control. It came from the person who used to be Tesla's greatest asset, Elon Musk. For years, the brand's most loyal customers were progressives, intellectuals, and environmentalists. They didn't just buy the car to save money on gas. They bought it because they wanted to drive a green, modern, and ethical statement. But after Musk turned X into a political battleground, that symbol began to change colors. A Tesla used to signal that the owner cared about a cleaner future. Now, to many, it is linked straight to Musk's divisive rhetoric. Yale reported that after Musk bought Twitter, the trend of Democrats buying Teslas completely reversed. The study also noted that the bump from Republican buyers couldn't offset the massive loss of Democratic customers. That is a massive crisis for an American EV maker. Because while Republicans might like Musk more, they are not the primary demographic buying EVs. Meanwhile, the core group that actually paid for electric vehicles is actively walking away. The EV Intelligence Report revealed that 59% of Democratic voters are now less likely to consider buying a Tesla. The same report stated that 62% of Democrats now hold a less favorable view of the brand. To put it bluntly, Tesla is losing the exact customer base that turned it into a cultural icon. So when the outrage gets loud enough, consumers don't need to protest. They just stop buying. The path to survival. So what is Tesla's strategy in 2026? It's not about continuing to pretend they can still dominate every single EV segment. It's not about racing to the bottom to fight a cheap price war with China. And it's definitely not about selling another flashy car and calling it the future. Tesla's survival strategy has to start with a bitter truth. They cannot beat BYD in the mass market cheap EV war, but they can learn how to offer serious deals. According to Cars Direct, the Model 3 Premium once offered a deal with 1 year of free supercharging. Cars Direct also noted that the Model 3 still features 0.99% financing for 72 months on certain trims. For the Model Y, Autoblog recorded that June 2026 leases start at $459 per month. That is exactly Tesla's new way of discounting. It's not about hanging giant price drop banners, but it's about twisting the monthly payments to make them a lot easier for buyers to swallow. If you're planning to buy a car, this is actually considered a relatively good time to pull the trigger. For a brand new Tesla, the best option right now is the Model Y base or the premium RWD trim, starting at $41,630, which already includes destination and order fees. The Model Y is much better suited as a family car, giving you a spacious trunk and a vehicle that's just easier to live with. But you should only buy it if you can charge at home. If you have to rely completely on public charging, that cost-saving advantage will vanish incredibly fast. Alternatively, you can always look at used models. Kelley Blue Book notes that a 2023 Tesla Model 3 standard trim has a fair purchase price of around $25,200. The 2023 long-range version goes for about $29,300, depending on condition and the local market. Edmunds also shows that the 2023 Model 3 has suffered a massive drop in value after just a few years of use. As for the model you should absolutely avoid, it is definitely the Cybertruck. A vehicle plagued by non-stop recalls is never a bargain no matter the discount. Cars Direct even found demo Cybertrucks discounted by over $3,700. They are fast, flashy, and impressive, but on the flip side, repairs are significantly more expensive than the Model 3 and Model Y. And the final rules to keep in mind are, do not buy a new Tesla unless there's a heavy incentive. Do not buy a Cybertruck at this stage. Do not buy FSD with a massive chunk of upfront cash. And if you truly want a Tesla hunt for a used Model 3 or Model Y that still has a warranty, a clean history, and a below-market price tag. Conclusion: Tesla will not collapse, at least not in the next 3 to 5 years. With Elon Musk's ability to raise capital, spin the media, and turn every single promise into a massive event, we can fully expect Tesla to stretch this game out. But the real question is whether Tesla still deserves the trust of car buyers. A company doesn't need to go bankrupt to be considered a failure. It collapses the moment the exact reason customers chose it in the first place begins to vanish. The supercharger network used to be their final fortress, but now it has opened its doors to Ford, GM, Hyundai, and multiple other rivals. The EV tax credits have completely vanished. Emission credits are no longer an endless cash cow. China is squeezing prices from the bottom up with BYD and their dominant battery supply chain. And Americans are starting to get sick of the constant recalls, brutal depreciation, expensive insurance, and lockdown software. Tesla used to sell freedom. Now they sell accounts, data software updates, and conditional usage rights. That is the true collapse. It's not about the factories shutting down tomorrow. It's when consumers look at their car and realize they don't actually own it anymore. So in 2026, would you still dare to drop your hard-earned cash on a Tesla? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this information valuable, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss our next massive industry exposes.